Welcome to Millena the Talk Show. Today I'm going to be discussing that very important question. We've all been there when we're sitting on the sofa, sitting in the chair, watching television, fiddling with the remote control, and wondering why there's so many channels on TV, yet nothing to watch. What is up with that? Well, we're going to have answers to that question with my very special guest. So stay tuned as we get comfy and we get real.
You need to watch this woman's show.
Welcome to Millena the Talk Show, where we talk about things that everyone thinks about but rarely ever says.
And I want you to make sure you tune in with Millena because she's a friend of mine. Keep it real.
Bishop Wynn. Bishop John Wynn.
Bishop John Wynn.
Dr. John Wynn.
Bishop John Wynn.
Bishop Wynn. Dr. John Wynn.
John Wynn is a husband, father, bishop, businessman, author, teacher, music producer, filmmaker, and more. Behind every great leader, there is a greater story. This is the story behind John Wynn.
Subscribe on demand now to watch The Story Behind, only on the Wynn Network.
Welcome back. Now, I am here with, as you saw, the Wynn Network is amazing. It's outstanding. And I am here with the extraordinary co-founder of the Wynn Network, Dr. John Wynn. He is an author. He is a musician. He's a producer. And he is the co-founder of the Wynn Network. We're so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Wynn.
Thank you for letting me come and be on this very special show with you.
Well, as I said, thank you. It is our honor and pleasure to have you as a guest.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I mean, wow. All I can say is wow. After all of that, you're amazing. You're man of the absolute world. Like, you're every man. That's what. Okay. I have so many questions I gotta ask you, but you know how we do here.
All right.
Gotta get comfy, we gotta get real, take your shoes off, and kick back, have some tea, have some cookies, and and relax, because
All right.
I need information.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
first of all, where are you from?
Reno, Nevada, the great state of Nevada, the
Wow.
Silver State.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
And see, I'm asking you that because you have this really Southern gentleman vibe with the ma'am and the this and the that. I'm from the South. I'm from Maryland.
All right.
North, South, whatever. It depends on what conversation you want to have. But
That's right.
you have that comes from, when you say ma'am and sir, that comes from good raising, good
Yes,
backgrounds.
ma'am. Great dad. In fact, my father was the first African American on the governor's cabinet in the state of Nevada, and the first African American to do weddings in wedding chapels in the state of Nevada, and the first African American to be the commissioner of the HUD Housing Authority in Reno. That's where we got the name Wynn Network after my father, because of all the great work he's done in the state.
Oh,
So that's where that has originated from.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Not just Steve. Steve ain't the only one up in this piece.
I see. See, I thought it was just Steve, but no, the original Wynn's
That's
doing
right.
doing
That's right.
everything.
That's
Oh
right.
my goodness. So those are some pretty big shoes that you'd have to fill.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I ever fill them, but I'm just going to keep working, trying to do good work.
That promo that we just saw, I think you are on your way
Thank you so
to
much.
doing a whole lot. Well, let me ask you, what inspired you? Like, from your upbringing, your background, like what did you see yourself as being a minister or producer or musician, or when you were growing up, how did you see your life playing out?
You know, that's an interesting question, because I don't think you really understand your path. I think when you're chosen, it's almost like no choice. So when you've been chosen to do something, things align itself to your call. And the way I got into media, actually, I think I shared with you before, my father was the first African American on television in Reno on Channel 21. So he had a Christian broadcast, so I was really intrigued by the back work and the production of that. and the general manager, how he operated the network.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think I would do what I'm doing now.
Uh-huh.
And then when my father passed when he was 47 years old, I was 15.
Mm.
And Back to the Future came out in '85. And it wasn't until this year I said, why is Back to the Future my favorite movie? Well, me and my boys, I took a trip with me and my boys, and we wanted to go on we wanted to take VIP, Universal VIP.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on the back lot, and we were on the lot where it says, save the clock tower, save the clock tower. And I started weeping. I said, what in the world? Why am I crying on the lot? And it wasn't until that day I realized it was that movie or that medium that helped me cope with my father's death.
Wow.
So I realized that with medium, it's a power that no one
is.
really understands, the power of persuasion or the power of changing people's directives or lives or opportunities even, giving them to realize. I mean, Star Trek, even though it only lasted for 3 years, it revolutionized our whole communication from flip phones to even like they're trying to transport. I'm not going to get in that anytime soon, but it has changed. Television has shaped our mindsets, has shaped our culture, has shaped our viewpoints of so many different things.
It has. And as you said, all media does that. I mean, books do
Books.
that, and you've authored 2 books. You know,
Yes.
music does that. You have 2 CDs. You have an entire network. So you are in the business of helping people change and helping people change their mindset and helping them to discover things about themselves that they may have overlooked or may not have even known about. And so you are a catalyst for this with, as I said, books, music, and now a network that you just launched in 2017.
Yes, ma'am.
You launched this network. So what made you decide that, okay, I am going to have a network? What was that about? Were you sitting on the sofa and watching television and like, why is there nothing on television? Or what made you have that moment that said, I got to do this?
Well, I don't want to be a victim of your next segment of a liar, so I got to tell you the truth. What happened? I was driving down the street, and I was praying, and it's like Spirit said, "Hey, I've given you television, I've given you publishing, I've given you CD, and you've done nothing with it." And I started weeping. And the next day, I connected with this guy that was always inboxed me for 5 years that I never knew.
Wow.
And he connected me with the digital platform and began to talk to me and mentor me on what I had. And as I did my own research, of course, I outgrew him actually and went further because I'm that kind of person. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. You know, this is a half step. We're going to do it. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it.
Gonna do it right.
That's
exactly.
right. You know, or get out the kitchen.
Exactly.
So let's either cook or get out.
Cook or get out.
That's right. So that's what happened in May, and it's just been phenomenal. Going into our second year, and it's just wow.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with you.
No, thank you. You're so kind. Thank you. Now, I understand that you're in 380 million households?
Yes. We're
In
all over
2
the world.
years?
In 2 years.
Okay.
Well, that's actually 10 months.
It gets better, y'all.
Yeah,
It gets
10
better.
months.
10 months,
10 months.
380 million households.
Yeah.
How did you do this?
We connected with another developer that has developed systems all over the country, all over the world. In fact, we got an email from Algeria. They want one of our shirts that says the Wynn Network. So we're in Europe. I had Ernie Thomas that played Raj.
Yes, on what's
He said-
happening.
Yeah, so he said, download the Wynn Network now. It's going to be tragic, right? And we saw a bunch of Iran followers start following us.
Oh my goodness.
And so we're just looking at this, and it's like, what is this? And so we want to make sure that we always give people a way out, no matter what. When they watch the network, they're going to be, especially now we just upgraded our whole and diversified our whole network. We have a sports channel, children's channel, inspirational channel, feature film, documentaries, short films, and so on and so forth. So we're really short webisodes. So we're doing a lot, and we're seeing it just pick up and take off. It's just kind of just crazy.
That is phenomenal. So on, I just have to take a moment because that is just outstanding.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was just given to you
Yeah.
to do all of these, to have all of these different channels. So,
Yes.
you know, there's something for everyone.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
for a lot of times people say they don't have anything to watch because it's specifically niche. So there are a lot of
Right.
there are a lot of cooking channels. There's a lot of shopping network channels. There's a lot of sports channels. But, you know, they don't have, you know, it depends on what mood that you're in.
Right.
You know, some people are in the mood to want to cook. I don't cook. So I'm not interested in that kind of at all. But some people want to, I'm a comedy person. I like to laugh. And so I'm constantly looking for the comedy or, you know, there's something for everyone. But sometimes people just want what's familiar and what's comfortable. Just, you know, coming in after work or after hanging out, you just want to flip on the TV and just, you know, not really think too much and get into something heavy, but just something light and something like Friends or something basic and simple where you don't have to follow in. Because, you know, Friends has its own.
Yeah.
So, you know, everyone has, it depends on people's moods of what they want. So what you're saying is that the Wynn Network is one-stop shop. You got whatever you want, you got that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Everything but rated R. We try to keep it PG-13 up to maybe 17. There's a PG-17. But what I like real television.
Okay.
You speak of that. I've been in the ministry. I'm third generational pastor, but I like real stuff. I like watching real shows. I like even entertainment. If you're going to be entertained, like I said, either do it right or don't.
Hey.
And so some of our stuff is edgy, but the content that we want to try to express and present to people is something to give people something to think about, something inspirational, or something just like we have one show that I'm really excited about that we'll be uploading next month. It's called The Wheelchair Warriors, about guys that literally box in the ring in wheelchairs.
Get out of here.
So I'm really intrigued to see how that is.
Wow.
And to see that there's no limitations in being limited that we think is limited as far as physically or, you know, but these guys are really boxing and training. And so I thought that was interesting. So that's coming soon. So we have a diverse, a lot of diverse content. It's not just one type of content, it's diversity. If you want just prayer, you're going through and you want prayer, we have a Bishop Cole that's out of North Dakota that's on. You could go to the inner prayer room and just listen to prayer. He'll pray for 30 minutes for you, and he's praying for the nation, praying for the world. If you want some motivation, I'm on there teaching my motivational segment called, what is it called? What is my show called? What is it called? The Dr. John Wynn Show. That's what it's called. And then you have, you know, Ron Hill, her pastor. He has about 2,000 members out of Compton. He talks about faith. And then you have John Melvin talking about insurance and how to buy money. So we have a variety. And then you have movies, you have shows. We have, tomorrow we're launching this short called The Enemy. Really good. About a man that's dealing with himself and his internal conflict that's wanted to kill himself.
Wow.
And but the story plays out, and it's trying to show a way out, trying to help people to understand that, you know, it's not over. So
it's not over. I love that. I love that. Giving people, you know, help, giving people hope, giving people directions. You know, that's one of the things where, you know, I as we talked about earlier, this medium of film and television and theater, and it's called entertainment, but it really helps people get answers to life's questions. You know, I personally am partial to soap operas, as people know. I've been on 5 soap operas, so you know, I love that there's a continuation of, you know, those people's lives, and you can dip in and dip out. No matter where you always pick back up, and you'll be just fine because they will catch you up to it.
Right.
But it really, there's an irony in that. I find that a lot of times, some of what those characters are going through, that, you know, I can listen to that and look at that and say, oh, you know, that's a different, I'm going to share that with so-and-so. I'm going to share that with such and such. I'm going to share that information, and, you know, they can take it or not. I'm going to share this with my brother. I'm going to share it with my mother, whomever. They can take it or not, but it may be something that I never thought of or that they hadn't thought of. It's a different perspective, a different way of looking at things, and that's the power of it. So do you decide what shows go on, and are they all inspirational, or do you have non-inspirational shows?
Well, we have some things on science. We have some on Illuminati. I'm like you. I watch Discovery Channel. I like B.T. Martin. You know, I'm like
Love Martin.
you
Come
know,
on now.
I'll watch CNN. I'll go to HBO. I think I fell in love with HBO because we didn't get cable in our neighborhood because we were way out in the suburbs in Reno, and we didn't get cable till 1983 because they didn't have cable. They didn't have all the cable connections out there, so not until 1983. So
we had with antennas and you know.
Yeah, so when
turn
HBO,
the channel like that.
you remember HBO, right?
Yes.
Oh man, HBO was like this grandeur of an opening that I always liked. Home box office, I just loved HBO. So I fell in love with just the escapism, as they call it, as well as just being able to just see the creativity of life and how it plays out on television. So it's always been something that's been intriguing.
So I have a question for you that's about how do you decide, like where do you get your content from, and how do you decide if this is good for your network and for your brand or if it's not? But I'm going to come back with that and a couple more questions, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Millena the Talk Show with Dr. John Wynn.
The Las Vegas Review-Journal is the largest and most widely read and visited news and information source in Nevada. As the region's most trusted independent news media company, the award-winning Las Vegas Review-Journal has been serving Southern Nevadans for more than 100 years. The multimedia news, information, and entertainment company owns a strong portfolio of print and digital niche products, including The Neon, Luxury Las Vegas Magazine, El Tiempo, LVRJ.com. Visit mylvrj.com today.
Welcome back to Millena the Talk Show, and we're here discussing why is it that with all the channels on television that there's nothing to watch? Well, I'm here with the solution to that, and that is the Wynn Network's very own co-founder, Dr. John Wynn. Welcome back.
All right, let's roll.
Let's roll. So tell me, how do you decide? You know, before we went to break, we were talking about great shows like Martin and What's Happening and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Wonder Woman. So how do you decide what shows are suitable for your network, and are there any types of shows that are not?
Well, we have a team that checks out the segments, and they look at it, or not segment, but the content, and they decide whether it, you know, they know my preference, they know my wife, who's a co-owner, Edith, they know what we like, and they know what we want to portray. And of course, we want to always represent the brand. We want to make sure the brand is being represented in a decent and exciting way. Like I said, it's edgy. Some things is edgy, but at the end, if you stay with it, it'll bring you out all the way through. And so we try to keep things that are wholesome. Documentaries, I love documentaries.
Yes.
Things on space, Apollo. We got some shows coming about the Apollo space, the race to the moon, and all that great stuff. And animal shows. So we got a lot of variety things that will be educational, and then we have some excitement, some sitcoms, original sitcoms. We're doing a little cooking show, you know, Americans Cook. So we got a variety.
So how many channels do you have on your network?
Presently, we have sports, children, inspirational, feature films, documentaries, and shorts is the one. So we have about 4 or 5 channels right now that we have, on VOD.
Okay.
It's subscription based, so it's SVOD. So you can subscribe and you can have all those channels.
Okay. Now, so do you have any reality shows? You know, people like reality shows now. And if you say no, that's okay.
We have one reality show that's a cooking reality show that is shot out of London. That'll be on the network. We were working with one family out of Florida. We wanted to do their reality show, but I think they were just too real. So we're trying to see if we can fix some stuff.
Too real? What was too real? Come on, you can tell us.
We you have your scripted, unscripted stuff, and you have things that, you know, even reality shows have some type of segments.
Oh, they're all scripted.
And editing, so, you know, we want to make sure it's on that track and not just, hey, we just showed up and watch us. You know, it's.
Wow, were a little bit too real with
Yeah,
the
they
reality.
they weren't prepared, I should say.
Got it.
Good family, just weren't prepared. And one thing we don't want to ever do is portray a negative type of situation. With I got 8 children, and the last thing I want is somebody to portray my family in a weak time or in a time of trying to maneuver or going through or an adjustment.
Right.
And I think sometimes media likes to hurt people when they're going through adjustments. Divorce is real. Kids going through their issues is real. So I don't want to make money or exploit someone's life for somebody else's entertainment. That's cheap.
It
I
is.
mean, we could do better than that.
We
So,
can.
So I want to make sure that whatever we portray, it's showing them, yeah, they have real life stories. Yeah, they have situations. But how did they come out of it? Not just leave the people right there, like, I think because what happens, we don't understand the effect that we have on culture and the mindsets of young people.
Exactly.
I think the Marvel comics, my grandsons, they love Marvel, man. They want to be.
Do you have grandsons?
Oh, I got grandkids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm old. Woo.
Well, you don't look it. You don't look it. You may have you have a mind of that, but you don't look it at all. But I'm sorry. You
Shave
just.
the hair.
Oh, that's the
Keep
secret.
the gray on.
Okay, we're doing a good job, and I'm
Thank you.
sure your wife loves it.
Yes, I hope she does.
I'm sure she does. You got 8 kids and some grandkids, I'm sure. So you're Marvel. So you were talking about the Marvel comics and how they look to that
Yeah.
as inspiration and want to be. We all want to be, the best. We all want to have those superpowers. We all want to have. I know in my head, I have superpowers.
All right. Now, funny you said that. Some of your top shows on Netflix, CBS on demand, Hulu, they're kids that have superpowers or some type of space. Star Trek is one of the top. So the kids are looking for, why are they looking for this power? Because they're trying to escape something.
Yes.
So they reach for a falsified or something that will help them learn how to have this power. Harry Potter was another one that showed a lot of young people, they want this power. They want to possess the power to control their destiny or to control a situation that they're not happy with or to control a mindset.
Yeah, they do, because they don't have control over anything. Yeah. They don't get to control what they eat when they go to bed. They have no control, so they feel like they can have some kind of control over something. Then that's good. Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I applaud you for only wanting to put out their positive, good images, because a lot of people in entertainment and a lot of people in your position, they think and people have said, well, why can't funny just be funny? Why can't, certain things just fly? And the reality is that, as you have with 380 million households, the messages go all around the world. And so for people in Dubai, people in Australia, people in the Philippines, their only encounter with people of a certain culture is going to be what they see on your network, on your television, because they're not going to be able to travel to all these places. So their reality is what they see on television. So, if you look at, let's say, for example, we'll take Australia and the Aborigines. If what you see, or in the old days, Tarzan. Let's take it back when we had to get up and turn the channel. I was one of those kids that turned channel. Yep. Were you one of those turn the channel kids?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
And so, but we did watch Tarzan on Sunday morning, and Tarzan swinging through the trees, and you see the people in Africa were just with the loincloth and running around, and so that's how people perceived all of Africa and all Black people in Africa from that.
Yes.
And not true.
No.
So not true.
Yeah.
But because that image was shot around, that's what people believe. So, that it's very important to have that positive energy and positive message. So I applaud you for that, for taking responsibility and just going with it.
That's the key word. I realize this is a responsibility.
Yes.
Medium is a responsibility to listeners, to viewers.
Yes.
And what we say and what we portray. of course, once we say something, you're not going to get it back. You can once they print or misprint, they put it in the back of the editorial. Sorry, we made a miss. But I mean, who's going to read that?
Nobody's reading
It's already so. I mean, and that's the danger of medium, is that it shapes. In fact, there was a statement that was said that you cannot persuade men's thoughts if you don't become a writing, reading generation. And so, what we, as a cultural type of people, we were more influenced by what we see than what we read. Now you're in a sight and sound generation that is more into what they see than what they read.
Right.
So you have your iPad, you have everything. You're looking. Instagram is about pictures. So whoever writes a message on Instagram, it's for pictures.
Yes.
Stop writing. Just show a picture.
It's just pictures. It's just videos get more clicks than anything else. It's
it's a game.
and acclimating to that, understanding that this is where it is, and you got to get in where you fit in and just change with the times. So how do you find, do you acquire content of, like say, Welcome Back Kotter or Friends or the Jeffersons, or is that something that you, where do you find, where do you find
what's
stuff? Because I'm sure there might be people out there who are like, oh my gosh, I have some content I want to.
Yeah, that's how it's kind of happening.
Really?
Yeah, and in fact, we of course we did a couple of licensing things, of course, with this one company that was so gracious and generous to us. But then we went to a couple of film festivals this year. But then we created our own. And then other people say, hey, I got something, can I put on your network? And, and we talk to them about that. The team talks to them. But yeah, I mean, they really have been calling us from across the country. It's just,
that's fantastic.
It's just interesting. It's just really interesting.
So, do you have any plans? And this is totally because I just want to know. Do you have any plans for soap operas or anything like
operas?
that? OWN has the haves and have-nots, and there's All My Children and General Hospital, and All My Children's gone away, but General Hospital and Bold and Beautiful, and soap operas. They have a niche, and I didn't hear you say that.
I don't know. I have another show called the Doctor's Diary, and it's about trauma centers. So we have some things like that. And then the Waldens, but that's more of a sitcom. That's not so much drama driven. We have, I think, it's a webisodes, like 14 seasons worth of webisodes that we're putting out there.
Wow.
So they're like 7 to 8 minutes, but it's kind of dramatic, 80-20, about some young people and dating and all that stuff. So I guess, I'll talk to the team. I'll let them decide what they, so it's so much out there to watch, and you're really competing now. We're talking about why isn't anybody watching television anymore?
Right.
You have on the Wall Street Journal today, 1 million subscribers have left DirecTV and Dish Network.
Wow.
1 million subscribers. They're struggling to put content on television that is new, because who's watching TV is people 34 and up.
Right.
So that's why you have Wonder Woman. That's why you have the Andy Griffin Show. That's why you have, because all the 18 to 32, 33, the millennials, they're not watching television.
No, they're watching YouTube. They're watching Netflix.
Right. Netflix,
Hulu, Amazon.
And even then, so now Disney has changed the game. Walmart has vowed to go against Amazon Fire Stick and Amazon and Netflix. So you have this big war that's getting ready to happen with the big boys. So it's, and most of the cultures, the African American culture, still don't know about a lot of the digital platforms.
Right, they don't know. That's why. Please tell everyone. Okay, so let's say you're watching the show, and how do I get the Wynn Network? How do I find the Wynn Network?
WYNNetwork.com. That's how you find it. So you can go on the platform. We're on Hulu. We're on Fire Stick. We're on Apple TV. We're on Roku television. We're on Android television. We're on iOS, iPads, and then you can go online and you'll be able to watch it online as well on your computer. So we're everywhere. So you can, no matter where, if you're at home, you can watch us on television. If you want to go, you can watch it on your cell phone.
And you even have an app now.
We have an app, Wynn Network app. Go to the App Store and put Wynn Network, and you can get the app and download it and check us out.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, okay, so I mean, I know this is going to be a silly question, but I mean, is there anything like what's next? What's next for you?
Well, you know what we want next. Next, we want to get on Samsung television because that's a different type of system, and also the Xbox and the Sony PlayStation. So we want to get on those. That's what's next.
Yes.
And then we want to constantly grow the platform, get subscribers, and everything is going by 2024. You're going to see more. Everything is eventually going to be AVOD, which is advertised video on demand. So everything's going that way. So that's why you have Disney and everybody's rushing. Networks are scared like crazy. We were at AFM and you were listening to the producers. We don't know what's happening because the film industry, theaters are losing a ton of money because people are doing more digital platforms. They want to go home. They want convenience. Right. And so now movie theaters are more coming into more entertainment restaurants.
Yes.
So, you know, our great, plug in my great friend, Eclipse Theater. You know, it's a restaurant, you go, you eat, and you can watch a good film. So everything is changing. And because of the mindsets of the people that we're dealing with. And I was listening to this one group, you know, I said, well, you can stay here, but if you plan on existing, you have to kind of conform and do certain things. So somebody says, well, what's the difference in you and Facebook? Well, if you look at the stock, Facebook is in trouble. Facebook is tanking. Their own infrastructure is getting really scared because people are pulling away from Facebook from all the information that they were selling. So it's unstable. So pretty soon what happens if marketers and advertisers start pulling their money from Facebook, everybody's on Facebook Live, right? Well, that's going to stop because that broadband is cost a ton of money. So eventually they're going to have to put the cost on somebody.
Right.
So who's it going to go to? The people that own the consumer. So you're looking at the trends, so you got to watch the trends, which most of us don't like analytics, and we don't look at statistics and data. We just think, oh, this is going to be here forever.
Right. No,
and
you got to look at that.
You got to look at the trend of things. And now you see YouTube. Okay, YouTube has a free channel still, but they got one that's $20 or something?
Right. It's
what's
going
to happen?
Red.
That's right. So what's going to happen to the free? Something's going to eventually happen. Either the advertisers or something is going to be the main. That's where everything's going, more advertising that's going to be driven. But then you have everybody coming competing. So John, what makes you think you're going to survive? Well, I'm going to survive because Netflix and Tubi have over 50,000 videos and shows. So guess what? You're a newbie. You got new content coming. You give your stuff to Amazon. You know, I love listening to these people say, I gave my stuff to Amazon. Well, guess what? Because you're not a major player, guess what happens to your stuff? You pretty much go on the shelf. So if not enough algorithms, not enough people watch it, it's hard to find you. You just become one of them, one of their packages that's on the shelf for later on. So that's why the Wynn Network's here.
Well, thank you so much
for
just everything that you're doing and for starting the Wynn Network, and for everybody who needs an alternative, wants an alternative. The Wynn Network is one-stop shop. There's something definitely for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to your calling and for being true to that spirit that said, go get it. And so for all social media platforms to get to the Wynn Network, all you have to do is go The Wynn Network. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do.
Right.
So if anybody wants to follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it is
or go
Wynn
to the
Network.
or go to the website wynnetwork.com.
Okay.
And you can find all the social medias and information you want and subscribe to us.
I was just gonna say, and subscribe to you, and then you will be right there.
Yep,
and,
subscribe.
And again, thank you for
so
everything what you're doing, and thank you for being a guest on
Thank you so
Millena
much.
the Talk Show, and for keeping it comfy and keeping it real.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.